everyone to the second Spanish episode of the Caravan Tour of Terror, a show that finds us touring the globe through the medium of horrific, chilling and disturbing entertainment. My name's Donald and I'm the driver on this quest. Joining me at my side as always, with a road atlas on his lap and tabs of acid in his pocket, is my navigator Ali. Say hello, Ali.
It's so warm. It's so warm here.
It's so warm.
Why did we think it was a good idea to take pasty Scottish men to the hot places?
And stay here.
Stay here.
It's very
There's
warm.
no AC in the caravan.
We are in Camping Asuna, I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced, in sunny Madrid. And we had no idea until we saw this movie just how dicey a place Madrid can be. What with the gangs of snappily dressed murderous arsonists and Satan HQ being just downtown from where we are. We are like, it's actually crazy how close to downtown we are in this campsite. It's a nice enough campsite. I'm getting ahead of myself. We're here to see The Day of the Beast, El Día de la Bestia, by Spanish director Álex de la Iglesia. Ali, why don't you give everyone a little primer about this movie?
Well, first of all, I think you did a great job in the director's name, and I will give you £100 if you can name the writer of this movie.
Oh, that's Jorge Herrera. That's probably closer than you think.
That is probably closer than you'd think. I think that was a very good effort.
If I said it really quickly and then just carried on talking, you probably wouldn't have even noticed.
Exactly. But you're not getting £100 for it. We're here watching The Day of the Beast, a 1995 Spanish black comedy, and gracefully, unlike some of the movies we've talked about, this one is actually very easy to sum up.
Yeah.
It is about a priest who knows the end of the world is coming, the Antichrist is going to be born in Madrid somewhere, and he wants to stop it.
Yeah.
That's the entire plot of the movie.
Yep, pretty much. Yep.
And the first thing I want to point out is I never realized that 1995 Madrid was basically 1980s Detroit. It doesn't insane.
It doesn't get a good rep from this film. That's all.
No.
Oh dear.
No.
So this is a comedy horror. Probably more on that later.
Black comedy horror.
It's very dark comedy. And I really liked the opening stuff. You're introduced to the priest Cura. Is that how you pronounce it? I can't even remember.
Angel.
Angel. And he's a priest, but it's quite a cold open, and he's just running around causing mischief. So like he's stealing wallets and stuff. And I fucking laughed my ass off. There's a mime doing mime shit on a box, like a street performer, and he just runs up and just pushes him down some stairs. And I love that bit. It was great.
So before that part, it opens with him at his monastery, at his
I forgot about that.
Churchhood,
yeah,
whatever priest state. And he runs up to a fellow priest at the front of the church where the big stone cross is displayed, and he's like, I've done it, I figured it out,
he's very excited,
the end of the world's coming. Well, you don't actually know the end of the world's coming, he's very vague about,
knows something.
It's, I figured out, cracked the code, and the other one's like, we need to keep this quiet, whoever, like, they're probably listening right now, and as they walk away, Angel drops all his papers and goes to pick them up at the side. And the huge stone cross just falls on the old priest and squashes him.
It's a really good effect.
It's an excellent effect.
I thought it looked really good.
Yeah, no, it looks fantastic, and it really perfectly sets the tone of this movie.
Yeah.
That opening of just that crushing and the really frantic priest yelling about like what he's done. Just that's the whole movie.
The priest basically enlists the help of a long-haired,
heavy metal
chubby
loving
metalhead.
Satanist.
It's a pretty silly scene where he goes into the record shop. So basically decided that he needs to do bad things to kind of fool Satan into thinking he's, on Satan's side and he's a bad guy. So that's why he's running around stealing stuff and just causing mischief. And he like knows that heavy metal music is Satan's music, so he goes with a wee list of heavy metal bands to this metal shop and he starts talking to this guy, and the list, it's got Iron Maiden on it. And I was like,
right, so the first two bands are Napalm Death and Iron Maiden, and I couldn't think of two, like sure you'll call them metal bands, but I couldn't think of two metal bands that are so far apart as
do you know who the third one was?
No, so that's what I was going to ask.
Put this in the Discord. Sorry, this is just like peek behind the curtain. Right, that's what was written. Say that out loud.
Hache de che. Hache de che.
Give it soft C's.
Hache de se.
So close. Say that again.
AC/DC? Is it actually?
He's written it phonetically. Hesse DC.
Hesse DC.
Which I didn't get either when I was watching it first time. It's obviously...
I just was like, it's probably a metal band in Spanish, which it is.
It's a better joke if you know Spanish, but it's really funny.
Hesse DC.
Oh dear.
So yeah, I did find Jose and the whole portrayal of metal in general just a bit, well, very 1995, I'll say.
Yeah.
Ace Ventura gave metal a better look than this movie did. It's super, like, I get the feeling that whoever was in charge of, making that part up just didn't really know a lot about metal in general.
Yeah. The metal gig they go to later on is pretty funny. Just women dancing on multiple raised platforms as you get.
Yeah.
In the middle of a mosh pit.
More smoke than you could possibly see through. And also the music, the metal music that they made for this movie is bad.
I don't remember
bad.
it. I bet it might be a real band, in which case,
it might be.
Apologies.
It might be.
I apologize. He doesn't.
I don't. I feel there were some bands and some music in this that was just like, they were like, how do you make metal music? Jun 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 jun. That's it.
Oh dear.
He goes to he basically finds Jose, and Jose solves all of his problems immediately, which I found quite convenient.
In what sense? Sorry.
Like, he walks into this record shop and he's like, "Oh, I'm looking for these bands. Yeah, go look over there. Yeah," flicks through them. "Oh, can you put this on? No problem."
Yeah,
apart from the fact that the dance is unreal. He is the most accommodating man you've ever met. And then he goes, "Well, what about this one? This is a band that you've never heard of. No one's ever heard of them. I'm going to put them on. In fact, take the tape." And then he goes, "Cool. Well, I'm just looking for a place to stay." You're looking for a place to stay? Do you know what? My mum runs a hostel. Here's the address. Also, do you need a metal club to go to? I'll write the address on a ticket to the metal club.
That does set up basically the rest of the entire film.
It really does. It really does. Without all of those pieces of information.
But leave Jose Maria alone. This movie turned into a really genuinely quite sweet buddy movie for me. I was like, they're quite endearing, because Jose Maria and him form quite a nice little bond, and they get through a lot of scrapes together. And these two completely unlikely people. And Jose is he's a good dude. He doesn't look like a good dude in terms of, stereotypically. He's big and fat and kind of intimidating and pierced, and he just drops acid all the time. But, he's there when he needs to be.
No, yeah, I felt it. It's the one thing it did encapsulate about the metal scene, is that most guys that look like that are pretty harmless and nice people.
Well, apart from the two jackbooted guys at the gig. But,
the ones that, we will get to that point. Right, we will get to that. So he goes to stay at the
hostel.
hostel and meets, a myriad of people, including an old man who's constantly naked.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
They just go full on with it, and they do it really well. It's excellent. I never thought I would say that about an old man's penis.
It's excellent.
But yeah, it is basically him walking around trying to do evil and figure out how to contact the devil.
Yeah.
Also, Angel's idea of evil encompasses all horrible things except lying. For some reason, this priest cannot lie in his evil deeds.
If he was lying, I would be hard to know what the fuck is happening. That's the only thing.
Yeah, no, but there's so many situations. At one point, he's trying to drug a woman so that he can get some of her blood for a satanic ritual. And he drugs her. He sees her drink the drugged drink, and then immediately goes, "I need your blood. I need some of your blood. About this jar's worth. I need your blood." He literally could have waited another minute.
Yeah, she was out pretty quickly.
Also, I don't know why he took her to another room.
Yeah.
He could have just done it in the kitchen and fucked off.
Listen, maybe some parts of this don't stand up to total scrutiny. I'm very sad that there was more blood stuff, like after this last time's blood stuff. So last time with Sleep Tight, there was the pumping artery, and this time there was trying to draw blood through a syringe. I didn't watch a lot of that because it's the same bloody phobia all wrapped up, and I wish these films would stop triggering me like they're doing.
Well, can I just say, you chose a bad genre to do a podcast about.
No, I don't mind.
Very squeamish about
cut a head off, like chop a man in half, let the guts come out, fine.
It's anything that you think could conceivably happen to you. You don't think you're going to get your head cut off, and you wouldn't notice if you did.
But a mad priest might try and steal my blood.
Steal your blood. Yeah. It is basically capers and farcical conversations until we meet the psychic, Professor Cavan.
Yeah.
Who is a TV psychic with an audience of 10 million.
What? What's wrong with those figures?
That's a quarter of the population of Spain.
He's very popular.
4 people yeah, he is very popular. He is extremely popular. And he manages to follow him, show up at his house, break in. Once again,
wait a second.
Immediately tells him his plan.
Wait a second, yeah. So they follow him from a convenience store to his house, and the convenience store scene is really super dark to me, and I don't know why.
Yeah, it was the one that gave me the full-on 1980s dystopic Detroit that has appeared in so many movies in the past.
I didn't know what
So I'm what I can gather from this movie is that in 1995 things in Madrid might not have been the nicest.
Yeah, there's a gang roaming around doing kind of horrible things to, I think, exclusively mostly. Well, no, not mostly homeless people actually, because then there's a convenience store and they're spraying clean up Madrid when they do it. I think a racist gang. Yeah, I actually didn't realize. I thought it was just against homeless people, but I think the convenience store gives it more of an air of possibly racism or whatever. So Cavan walks into the convenience store, and the two guys that are in there have been horribly, brutally murdered, and he doesn't notice at all or acknowledge it, and then he says, "I'll leave the cash on the desk next time." I don't know. He says
to the dead body.
Yeah,
I'll leave the money.
And the dead body's like mostly in frame, and his eyes are pointing towards the viewer. And I was like, Jesus, this isn't funny. This is horrible.
Yeah, there's like a dead guy who's been smashed. Whose head has been smashed through like a big fridge.
Yeah.
And he goes to the other fridge to get his drink and just doesn't agree.
Yeah.
It's weird. It paints a super, like, especially of this character, you expect him to come across as a complete bastard.
Yeah.
And he doesn't.
No, he's very reasonable.
No. Yeah. Like,
I don't know what that point of that scene was, really. I don't know what that scene was trying to tell us about Cavan, really.
I don't know if it was supposed to tell us about Cavan or that, there's a general apathy to the kind of state that the city's in.
Ugh. But yeah.
Yeah, it's
I'll
weird.
talk more about that later.
Yeah.
You just reminded me of it because, we mentioned it. Oh.
So, yeah, the middle, third of this movie probably is set in Cavan's apartment, where they're planning on summoning Satan with the help of Cavan, because on his TV show he is a psychic but then performs exorcisms.
Yeah. He's a general occult master, I think. That's what they're going for.
General occult master, a fourth Dan occult master.
So you get a scene that's very much like The Devil Rides Out, another previous episodes. It's very similar. The circle in the middle and appearances by spooky. Well, they're in this film, they're not really spooky, and in that film they weren't really either. But you get to see, a goat and stuff. So that's cool.
Yeah, no, I really.
Black Phillip makes a cameo.
Black Phillip does make a cameo. I thought that was actually a pretty good scene.
Yeah,
the goat looked good. Satan summoning.
That's an evil looking goat.
Well, it also stood up.
Yeah, did not usually do that.
No. It's only, I don't know how they managed to do it in The Witch.
There's one down my way that does that all the time.
Down my way. But especially the camera filter they put on it, and I think that is a very much more is less is more scenario, where literally for the appearance of Satan, the goat appears to a certain point, and then the camera cuts, and it is that kind of sepia filter. Kind of Hammer horror, basically, as you said, kind of look to the whole image.
Yeah,
it adds a kind of weight to the scene, because up till that point there is a part of you that's going, is he just fucking mental?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is he just, and it cropped up once or twice, and I was like, is this just all gonna absolutely fall flat, and it's just he's a psychopath?
Yeah. Maybe Alex de la Iglesia saw Devil Rides Out. Highly possible. He's a horror aficionado. Never know. It's also it's pretty standard trope also, so we can't exactly attribute it to anything. I read a piece of trivia. Sorry, I'm wildly spilling out into trivia. That it said all the occult stuff was real, and I was like, well, yeah. Like, cool. I don't know. Real, yeah, real to who? Like, so they got a book that said it and they did it. I'm like, yeah, that's what I would do if someone said to me, if I was a set designer and the director said, "Can you do a satanic thing?" I'd be like, right, cool. Just let me go down to the library and find the book and copy it. What else are they gonna do?
Yeah. Well, I assume that there would be enough movies that would just fucking wing it.
Well.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just a strange piece of trivia to me.
So, while they're in Cavan's apartment, they try to convince him that the priest tries to convince him what is going on is happening, and Cavan's like, this is the worst. Like, I actually felt sorry for him. I felt so sorry for him, because I was like,
hey man, his
of course you
girlfriend.
wouldn't believe it. Yeah. Of course you wouldn't believe it, and of course, it would be...
He's being terrorized.
Yeah. But it really encapsulates how much they want to push the kind of slapstick comedy, because as the priest and Cavan are talking about the apocalypse and the end of the world and how to summon Satan, Jose is just wandering about the background,
He's funny.
picking stuff up and dropping it, and for most of it, the other two don't even acknowledge the fact that he's doing this.
Yeah, he's putting ornate masks on his face and just kind of wandering around. He's funny, and that made me laugh.
So my favorite part about the satanic ritual is that they improvise some things. So instead of communion crackers, they use bread that's been cut with a cup. They do use blood, and instead of psychotropic mushrooms, they use acid.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, when they were putting the acid and blood-soaked bread into their mouth, I was just like, that just does not seem...
Like they're on a mission from God, sort of.
Also, I'm not going to go into the scene, but I did find it strange that the person who likely has taken acid more than the other two got highest, quickest.
Yeah. I never thought about
The
that.
other two are relatively
He's been
unaffected.
taking it the whole time, so maybe he wasn't prepared for the extra on top. I don't know. But yeah, it's that actually,
The extra kick of Satan!
You're poking a lot of holes in this film, Ali, honestly.
There are a lot of holes to poke in this film. I did forget to mention that he comes back with a shotgun. The priest comes back from the hostel with a shotgun.
That's actually, that
after
hostel
taking-
scene is pretty funny as well.
Yeah.
That's a good scene. I won't go into exactly what's going on there.
It's not. It's definitely not a scene we need to talk about because it's one of the best
It's physical.
scenes in the movie.
Yeah, and it's very physical.
It's a lot
stuff
of
like that.
physical comedy.
Yeah, but it's good stuff.
Although I did, when she pulls out the shotgun, it's huge. It's a spaz. It's huge.
Well, if I lived in Madrid in this film,
If you lived in that Madrid, yeah,
I'd have
definitely.
6 of them.
Yeah, it is a shame. The poor con man, psychic, whatever you want to call him. He just has such a bad night. I feel so bad.
Oh dear. Is he a con man? He never, I always expected him to be a charlatan, but I don't think he actually ever is revealed to be one.
Yeah, because I think the exorcism is later revealed to be actual.
That's true.
An
It is
actual
actually.
exorcism.
Yeah, that's actually true. Yeah. So there you go.
Which is mental.
Yeah, that bit didn't go the way I thought it would.
So, yeah, after they summon Satan, right? Then when Satan appears, they all get really scared and fuck off.
Yeah. It's Satan.
But they wanted him to be there.
No, but he's not fooled.
This is not a game.
He's not fooled, you see.
Yeah, obviously it's not fooled.
Yeah, I know, but they, for some reason, really thought he might be fooled. And then he's like, I'm not fucking fooled. So that's when he taunts them, and then he's trying to maybe smash the door down. I don't really know.
So they get split up at this point, and Professor Cavan goes to hospital first and then back to the show, the studio.
Oh, hey, hey. See that bit where they get split up? Mm-hmm. Hey. See that bit where they get split up and they're climbing on the sign?
Yeah.
Yeah, Schweppes sign.
Schweppes.
That's real. And then look at the Discord. It's still fucking there. I was like, what?
Is this my spoilers?
Yeah. Not a peek behind the curtain,
Wow.
folks. That's like, what?
Wow.
Although, I mean, it doesn't look quite as big as it did in the movie, but it probably is, I guess. I just think it's quite weird it's still there also. And then a little, just on top of it, a little Vodafone.
Capital. It says at the very top.
Oh, yeah.
I did like when they're climbing on the huge Schweppes sign when he goes, only 6 more letters. A good moment. But yeah, so they get split up and Professor Cavan goes back to the studio, and it's possibly my favourite moment is so he comes in and he's furious and he's like, I need to get a message out. I'd like scrap the show. It's, by the way, it's Christmas Eve. It's kind of important, but it's not really important.
It's the deadline is Christmas. Antichrist is going to be born on Christmas Day
Because Jesus and shit.
The devil. Yeah, the devil does everything God does, but he twists it. It's basically what this whole thing about the devil in this film is. He's always doing stuff like God, but twisting it. So obviously it'll be Christmas Day. So it's technically a Christmas movie.
Yeah, this and Die Hard.
Yeah.
So he basically goes into the studio and he's like, we need to scrap the entire show. And his agent, producer, whatever, like his Italian... I get the feeling they don't like Italians, the Spanish. The way that this Italian man...
No, it's a co-production. They just don't... Well, because Cavan's Italian as well. They just don't like his agent.
While he's yelling at his agent, he's just making demands, and his agent's just constantly saying no. And at one point, he turns around and slaps him in the middle of like the production office. And he slaps him so hard, everyone stops talking, and the phones stop ringing.
I did not notice that bit. And why didn't I notice that, Ali? Because the version of this we watched was fucking annoying at this moment.
Yes, but
because it had
Italian.
It had Spanish subtitles of Italian, and then our tiny English subtitles on top. So it was a bit of a fucking nightmare for all that bit, unfortunately. But
we suffer for our art. But while Professor Cavan's trying to set up this show, Jose and Angel are running away from the police. They've kind of been rumbled. Thankfully, Professor Cavan seems to be on their side from the audience perspective, but they've been split up and they have to get the hell out of there. And this is where the magical shotgun comes into play, because that shotgun has infinite shells. And I don't mean like most movies where it's like, oh, it seems like they use too many. He is just pumping and shooting into the air over and 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 over. Like they really didn't care. Like someone definitely pointed this out during production and went, this shotgun's fired way too many times. And someone else turned around and went, shut up.
Is he not? He should have been shot many times.
So many times.
Because he's just shooting it in the air.
So yeah. In fact,
and there's armed people at times that could easily have taken him out. But
at one point, he shoots into the air, and the police with guns standing 6 feet away from him choose to run after someone else. It's mental. Also, the people of Madrid do not care if you carry a shotgun, only if you fire a shotgun.
Oh, no. Yes. Well, this version of Madrid is horrible, so maybe we'll give them a pass.
Oh, no, totally. I'm just...
That actually brings me on to one of the more disturbing... And it's weird I say disturbing. This is a comedy horror, but it's really... I didn't like it at all. That was horrible. Priest is sitting at a bus stop, and then this marauding gang, find this homeless guy, and they beat him up, and they set him on fire. Like, they pour petrol over him, they set him on fire, and then he starts, like, running, stumbling towards the priest. Yeah. It's horrible. It's
collapses
at all.
Literally in front of him.
Yeah, and the priest is sitting in kind of horror watching this happen. I was like, fucking... Like, I don't know...
Yeah,
Like I said, I'll think about it told later, because it was weird to me. It was really weird.
The only thing that slightly off-cut that for me was the fact that it's the same gang of 4 throughout the movie that have been doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
And this is the first time you get a good look at them. And they kind of look like 4 suburban dads.
They're dressed like...
One has a sweater draped...
Pastel suit
one has
jacket?
a sweater draped over his shoulders. Like he's...
Very yacht club.
Club or
so weird.
Club or some shit like that.
Yeah, that was so fucking weird. But to be honest, I was still...
Yeah, no, totally. It is a very effective scene. It was just something that kind of like popped into my head as I was watching that section.
It's a weird choice. I don't know if there's some significance of that. It's in Spain or Madrid specifically. I have no idea why. It's such a weird choice because it doesn't really... No, because the dress sense doesn't get addressed in any way. Dress sense doesn't get addressed. That's just how they happen to look. I don't know if it's a joke. I have no idea. It went over my head anyway.
They definitely stand out.
Yeah.
So from the bus stop, he goes to a club because he's now convinced. He sees it's actually a really great moment while he's at the bus stop before the flames and everything, because he turns to this... he's been saying he needs a sign to keep going, and he turns to the side, and it's a mobile ad or a phone ad. And it says, like, this is the signal you've been waiting for. And it's just So he goes to hell, the club, which sounds way better when it's in Spanish. Inferno.
Inferno, yeah. Uh-huh.
And so he's convinced that anyone wearing a Satanica t-shirt, which is the shitty band that that Jose originally handed him the tape of, he's convinced that anyone to do with that knows about the Antichrist and knows where it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And he goes to that club and they are playing on stage. And this is your your great depiction of heavy metal. But yes. What he decides to do is just start harassing a pregnant woman. And this is where earlier where you were talking about, those guys, they were so mean. And I was like, no, this definitely tracks for a metal gig, because if anyone walked into a metal gig and just started harassing and assaulting a pregnant woman, yes, two men are going to take him into the bathroom and kick the living shit out of you.
He rips a necklace off of her. A goat skull necklace off her for some reason. Does anything happen with that necklace in any way? Just a weird...
No, he's just like, it's a Satan thing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're in the club called hell. There'll be other things.
So no, I don't blame those two large men for beating the living shit out that priest. And this brings me to the probably the biggest leap of logic for me. Literally in this movie, it was the one thing I couldn't get past, and there's a lot of things that are unbelievable in this movie. And it's that Jose goes back to the bus stop where the homeless man's being carted away from an ambulance and goes, I need to go find the priest, and walks immediately from the bus stop to the bathroom of the club that the priest is in.
How does that come about? I think the homeless guy's wearing a Satanica t-shirt. Uh-huh. So I think that, it makes more sense when the film portrays it, because that's what Angel sees, and that makes him go, so I think what the movie's going for is Jose Maria sees the same t-shirt and thinks, right, that's what the priest would have thought if he'd seen the t-shirt, so I'm going to go there. Now, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that's what
whether that is the case or not.
That is.
The fact that he walks straight from the bus stop to the bathroom.
Well, he walks through the bar a little bit, and he's like,
he literally just walks in and walks straight to the bathroom.
He does look around a bit, yeah. But I
feel this was like a cut for time thing, that they maybe just had to shave seconds up, and there was a little bit more of Jose going, yeah.
Yeah, do you want, we've been at metal clubs together and been lost for like half an hour.
Yeah, I want that. I want the true experience.
Oh dear.
Even if he walked in and went, anyone seen a priest?
Well, priests wear all black in that context.
You're telling me that's more unbelievable than him just going, I know what he is. So we're going to go into essentially the finale of the movie from here. And yes, it's spoilers. We're going to avoid most big things, but this movie is not really a spoilery movie. It's a very along for the ride movie. It's a movie that you just kind of want to watch. It's like telling you that Hans Gruber dies at the end of Die Hard. It doesn't spoil the movie for you.
That's dangerous. There's one guy's now going to write in being like, I've been waiting to watch Die Hard for years.
Why?
Because I'm 17 and I'm just about to get old enough to watch it. I was going to watch it with all my family this Christmas for the first time. But then we could say, why the fuck are you listening to this? Because, there's an age warning on it, and we watch a lot of 18-rated movies, so... Yeah,
and also...
Shut up, nerd!
I honestly, I watched Die Hard when I was too young to watch Die Hard.
Listen, I'm just considering all the options. Anyway, okay, oh god, we're getting way off track. So, the finale of this film.
The finale of this film takes place on a giant skyscraper. A real skyscraper, I believe.
I didn't Google that.
I did. I think it is.
Now. I was actually wondering. I just forgot to look it up because it looks really fake.
It's weird. It does look super fake.
It's like,
which is
what's it like?
Yes, it is a real building. It's called
this?
the Gate. It's called the Gate of Europe.
Oh right, okay. Squinty.
It's a //
Yeah.
It's two buildings / or for people who are a little bit more cultured than us, it's the Gate of Europe in Madrid.
Yes.
Actually under construction at this time of the movie. It wasn't completed until 1996.
Oh.
Professor Cavan says, I figured it out. Has a great moment where Jose and the priest are trying to break into a car, and he just rolls up in a convertible and he goes, "Let's go!" And they just it's a great moment. He's really badass. So they drive off, and the justification is that it's the devil's markings. The / Gate of Europe is the
devil signs documents.
Yeah.
In his signature, he has these two markings.
I think. Well, yes, I think that. Okay, you're making me reevaluate it a wee bit, but I thought that certain parts of it were like selling your soul to Satan kind of thing. He'd found like really old documents of like, this is selling your soul to Satan.
And then I think he is.
Then apparently he is. I don't know, the construction manager of this building.
Yes, that's true. Yes.
And that's why he's
it's a horrible coincidence. And he's gone, no, because the document's from the 1600s. So, yeah.
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 So.
To be fair. Well, actually, no, not to be fair.
Because I'm pretty sure the priest brings up the fact of like, it could just be coincidence. And then he's like, it could be.
Yeah. Blah. So I would believe more readily that Satan had orchestrated all of that construction if Satan had more going on than 4 tennis club people running around committing...
3 tennis club people, because one is revealed to be Satan himself.
Oh, true, yeah. Satan's only got 3 friends in this whole film, so maybe he didn't orchestrate.
Who are middle-aged white men.
Well, yes. Who else are they going to be?
No, I know, but they're not like... They're just guys.
If you're looking for people with the capacity for evil, come on.
Yeah, that's true. You can. Slightly older, yeah, maybe is.
So yeah, maybe it was just a really happy coincidence. Satan was like, "Oh shit, I better get on with this."
I would get the feeling that he would have built that building because this is where the Antichrist is being born.
Nah, I'm gonna say that him and his 3 friends.
He was just like. I'm one for themes.
Maybe this is the first. Well, so he's been around for a long time. Maybe this is the first time that any building's been built with that design. He's gone, yes, now it's happening.
Finally, that's what. So wait, that construction is what triggered the. Wait, hold on, no, because then that's
formula. Because the formula is saying that this is the specific day. Interesting. So he must.
So that building was destined to be built,
or. It's only happening in Madrid because there's a suitable building or suitable structure. I mean, to be fair, we're only talking about / That could be 2 trees at the end of the day. That could be anything, right? I know he's like, it's like Satan's cathedral. It's this big thing. But it's not. It's a building site. It's not, could be anything. I don't know. I don't think it... Once again, this film is not quite holding up to the intense scrutiny that it definitely doesn't deserve to be put under.
It definitely doesn't.
I think Satan's kind of... I don't give him a lot of credit in this film. I'm going with he's a bit of a bumbling fool for the most part.
Yeah, it's weird. They give Satan a lot of credit in this movie, but he's not very good at anything.
He's not particularly powerful.
No, definitely not.
What? So we're in full spoiler territory. So Satan appears. What do you think about Satan?
See, for 1995 and considering
and the budget probably in this film,
I thought it was totally fine. It's kind of stop motiony.
I was actually I watched it the once. I wanted to look back and figure out how they did it, and I didn't do that. But I was thinking back and I was like, was it a puppet? Was it animatronic? Was it a combination of puppetry? Or was that dude in a suit? No, because then there's the legs sometimes. Unless those were stilts, I don't know. I didn't look at the proper dimensions and the camera angles to figure out exactly.
for me, it definitely looked a bit stop motiony.
Yeah.
But to what extent and like what method, I'm not sure. But to be honest, it looked good. It looked
Yeah.
creepy. It looked genuinely creepy.
The thing that didn't stand up so well was the composite shots. Basically, in the whole, like everywhere in the gate to Europe. Is that what? Sorry, is that what it's called?
Gate of Europe.
The gate of Europe. Like anytime they're on top of that building, the colors wash really badly because they're obviously being blue screened and not composite together. So that stuff suffers actually much more than Satan's model or whatever does. I'd
Yeah,
say.
because they've also got this kind of like swirling vortex in the clouds going on.
Yeah, which doesn't do anything.
Nah,
I feel like that was added way later. It didn't, like
maybe it was because they couldn't like really get a realistic, like that was better than putting a fake skyline on it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe because it doesn't play into anything at all.
No. I mean, I'm assuming it's just kind of to signal the, things are getting closer and the Antichrist is coming. So one thing which is kind of big spoiler territory that I do want to talk about.
Get those warnings ready.
So it's literally just this one thing, don't worry. One of the henchmen kills the Antichrist.
I was very confused about that.
One of the henchmen 100% kills the Antichrist.
'Cause-
before any of the shit happens with Satan,
Yeah.
someone runs in and goes, because they're trying to shoot the priest and Jose and Professor Cavan, and he manages to shoot the baby.
Does the baby definitely not cry after that? Because I was very confused.
I don't think the baby cries after that.
Later on, Angel has the gun, and
Looks
like
the bad guys.
It looks like he's thinking about shooting the baby, and then doesn't really.
But my thought of that was like, it's already dead.
Yeah.
And it really confused me. I was like, is this meant to be like, it wasn't the Antichrist. It was like the second coming of Jesus or some shit like that. And
See, I assumed I'd got this wrong, and then didn't think that you'd. I assumed I've obviously missed a split second where he shot him or something. And now that you're saying it too, I'm like, I wish I'd gone back and checked now because
like it looks really. I mean, I don't mean to bad. Like we don't need to go back and check if two of us are saying it independently.
It's definitely
It
confusing.
is definitely
and weird.
confusing because they literally run in, shoot at our three heroes.
Yes.
And it cuts to a shot of the cardboard where it's a homeless couple that had a baby
under cardboard.
Under in the construction site, and they're under cardboard, and it literally cuts to the cardboard, and you see like bullets going in it, and it kind of. And I was like, okay, job done.
Yeah.
Don't need to do anything else.
According to the Wikipedia synopsis, the gang beats Cavan badly, but Angel gets hold of I just default to Angel when I read it. Gets hold of a gun and kills the gang, also killing a baby who he realizes is the Antichrist. He then shoots the devil as well. I don't know if that's right though.
Yeah, because
I'm suspicious that's
the
wrong.
gang beats Cavan badly, but is not really accurate. I'm not going to go like that's just a part of it, but it's not really accurate. I don't think this is a great summary, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah.
Also, since you've already said it, he shoots the devil. He just shoots the devil. He shoots the devil.
Who fucks off? Well, he's...
Yeah, I mean, I get it. He's the devil, and he's obviously not dead. He's just like, my human form.
He turned... Yeah, so maybe he was a possessed thing, right?
I should fucking hope so.
Maybe he's killed the devil. Who knows? No one's tried it yet.
No one just tried shooting him. It was weird.
Kills other things.
I mean, in terms of spoilers, this movie is not very spoilerable. It is a very, very moment to moment, like what you're getting out of each scene. And I did really like the last shot, which is the main characters now homeless walking away in a park, and it pans up to a fountain or statue, and it's the fall of Lucifer.
Yeah.
It's just a really nice way to close out that movie. But it's
Fall of Lucifer being a statue of the devil. For those who don't know, it's a very nice statue though. It's like your classic Milton Paradise Lost style thing. Mm-hmm. Your classic devil. No Baphomet goat horns here.
Yeah.
It's a fallen
He's just
angel.
a dude.
I like that actually. It's let's just move on to what we thought about the film, because I've been dancing around. I'm a bit conflicted on this one because there's some parts of this I really liked. Like, I really liked the opening, and I liked the general hijinks. It just tickled me, it amused me. And I quite like the buddiness of it. Really, I found that really effective for some reason. I really liked Jose Maria and Anil together.
All of the characters really grown.
When I said Anil, Angel. And there's we've barely touched on it because, we don't want to describe everything about the movie, but a lot of the hostel stuff is very funny, and some of those characters are played very well. I
mean, genuinely, a lot of this movie takes place in the hostel, and one of the reasons we kind of skipped over it is because it's some of the best stuff in the movie.
Yeah, you can't talk about funny. We're not gonna bluntly just try and describe humorous scenes like that. Well, yeah.
It's also the most character building scenes, and like they're very important and they're very relatively well done. But you can't it's to go into would just do a disservice to them.
Yeah, I've said already a couple of moments which I found were maybe a bit too dark. Just nihilism it's quite cold at times. It's quite odd, like the witnessing people getting murdered and stuff, and the main character's not reacting particularly to it. It's just odd. Like I don't know what. I know it's like a dark comedy horror, but bloody hell,
it loses its focus a wee bit. I feel at certain points.
I think there's a real charming movie in here, but then those bits take away from the charm for me quite a lot. And I felt maybe the first half more than the second. Like, first half, I was definitely laughing more than the second half. I felt like maybe I was just conscious of it, but I didn't know if maybe it was, I don't know if it was sagging or if it was just as the plot ramped up, it went for less humor overall kind of thing.
I think that's kind of like, you get that kind of, first half is light. Because you still got your dark moments, but the second half you want to turn it dark and kind of show off what you're wanting to do with your movie. The stakes rise, I guess.
Yeah, the stakes rise. But as the stakes rise, the comedy falls away.
But I think that's fine. I think that's fine to do. I've watched other movies where the comedy falls away and they do it really well. I don't think they turned hard enough. I think if they wanted to do that turn, they should have gone for that turn. Yeah. Rather than just tone the comedy down and things get a wee bit more serious. Just go for it. If you want your second half not to be funny, don't make it funny. Don't try and throw it in. The comedy in the second half isn't as prevalent or as effective.
Yeah. And there's an inconsistency with violence in that sometimes it's deadly and sometimes it's slapstick, and then it kind of harms trying to build. So they obviously try to build up some tension, I guess, some tension. The characters in peril and all that, perilous moments. But because they've treated violence as kind of, there's other moments we didn't mention, stuff like that, because they've treated violence as kind of like a humorous thing to then put the characters in peril. It didn't really work for me because I'm like, well, yeah, but. Yeah, I mean, for obvious reasons, it didn't work. So, I really like the concept of the film in terms of, I just find a priest wandering around being bad really funny. Yeah. I do find that really funny, but I mean, did it so Mark Kermode has a patented 6 laughs test. A comedy movie has to pass the 6 laughs test. Did this pass the 6 laughs test for me? If you include wry smiles, yes. If you don't include wry smiles, don't think it quite did. I was really front-loaded with them, and then the second half just dropped away mostly. It was okay. It was all right at the end, but I had much higher hopes for it going on the strength of the first half, if that makes any sense.
It does.
Good.
I'm kind of similar to you. I enjoyed parts of this movie. I found it a bit inconsistent, like you, but just in terms of like quality and the writing, and I mean, to be honest, I think the acting is probably one of the strongest suits in it.
I really like Álex is it Angulo? Is that how you'd say that? As the priest, he's really good. I thought. Well, actually, the main three I thought were
The
all
main
really
three,
good.
yeah. Jose definitely does I think gets a disservice early on in the movie, but they really come around and he becomes less of a, like, he is full on like slapstick goofball at the very start. They find a balance for that.
Yeah, that's one thing they do. They do well through the movies. I did care for their little friendship. Quite a lot. So
Genuinely,
that's something. That stopped me being bored. Do you know what I mean? Like I
totally.
was invested in them too, kind of thing. So
I honestly thought that the chemistry between the three of them was excellent. Like Professor Cavan's kind of real swing from this is the worst night of my life. I can't believe I'm getting pulled into this, to okay, I've seen literal Satan, let's save the world. Like, and I think that he handles that like really well in terms of putting forward not too much like gung-ho-edness. Like, he is still Professor Cavan at the second half of the movie, but he definitely has more of a drive and more of a like shit has got real kind of vibe to him. So the performances, I think, from most of the cast are just like stellar. Like it pulls the bad bits of this movie through. So yeah, I did enjoy this movie, but not without some issues, not without some caveats, and that's not a bad thing. You know, like not everything has to be a 1 or a 10.
Yeah. Interestingly, Javier Bardem turned down the role of Jose Maria. Apparently, that would be weird.
That would be so weird.
That would be so fucking weird. Oh dear. So, other films to watch. Álex de la Iglesia is a huge director in Spain of films like this. Have you heard of other ones he may have done?
May he have done?
So they don't. I don't think they travel particularly well. So they are Spanish movies. So I think you would know, right? So I've watched another one called Witching and Bitching. Now, point number 1 on that. The Spanish title is La Bruja de Seguramundi, okay? Seguramundi, I think. Which literally translates to the Witches of Zugarramurdi, which is a Spanish village which was, or town, which was famously famous for witch trials, yeah? So the fucking distributors of that film took that title and turned it into Witching and Bitching, which I nearly didn't watch it because of the title. Point number 1, what the fuck are they doing, right? But that's on Shudder, and it's actually, I'd probably rate it above this movie somewhat in terms of humor. It's funnier. It has its problems as well, but it was made, it's from 2013, and so he has, he's got bigger budgets, he's got much bigger, he's got better special effects and all that. But it really, it's much funnier. It's still got problems. But he's like, so Álex de la Iglesia, he's got like his stable of actors. I was trying to think of what it was like, and I suppose it's kind of like Edgar Wright, Cornetto movies, in that he's got a stable of actors that he usually works with, and they've all got kind of similar tone, but they're approaching different plots, if that makes any sense. It's quite reductive because Álex has made loads more movies, and I think they do kind of vary in terms of like their plot a little bit more and stuff like that. But if you wanted to watch, if you were thinking this sounds good in terms of I like horror, I like comedy, I'm looking for something new to watch, I'd probably suggest watch Witching and Bitching first.
You really don't like saying that. You
I don't
really
like
don't,
saying
and I
it.
don't blame
That's-
you. It's a horrible,
Las
horrible
Brujas
thing.
de Segura. I mean, I get why they did it, okay? Zugarramurdi means nothing to us ignorant people who've never
There are-
heard of that town.
No, I get why they changed the name, but changing the name to Witching and Bitching is
Is it
possibly the
sexist?
worst.
I think it's sexist, right? It's
Bitchin'.
all.
No, it's like bitching.
I don't know. Is it?
Well, I
is
don't
it-
know what. I don't know what. Like,
It doesn't mean. Well, it's obviously not addressed in the film because it's nothing to do with. I don't think Alex was like, oh yeah, I bet they're going to call it witching and bitching in English. But he seems to be mega popular in Spain, and his films don't seem to really travel outside Spain very well. Maybe they're kind of a bit. I mean, so this movie's all about Madrid, and it's probably got little jokes about Madrid that we wouldn't get. And obviously, Witching and Bitching is all about this little town in Spanish folklore that we obviously don't get. But they always seem to clean up at the Goya Awards, which is like the Spanish Academy Awards, and they seem to be very popular and stuff like that. So I mean, I'm kind of
don't mean the
interested.
Spanish BAFTAs.
I'm kind of interested to go and see what other movies he's done because these are the only two I've seen because I think there's probably quite a few. He also to kind of increase his exposure a little bit worldwide, it's still Spanish. There's a HBO show he started producing called 30 Coins, but it's a horror TV show about a priest, but it looks like it's played straight and the comedy's maybe fallen away for it, and everything that I can read about it makes it look pretty great. So I'm gonna maybe add that to the list of things to check out in the near future.
Nice.
I think it's an ongoing series, and it's one season came out last year, if I am correct. So yeah, he's got a lot of shit going on, man. I came across Witching and Bitching and I was like, I need to Google this because that title's fucking awful. What is this? Expecting it to be crap.
Yeah. No, it sounds
and it's not
like
crap.
I mean, Witching and Bitching sounds like Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter or Hansel and Gretel or like, the 100 movies that have been made in that kind of style.
Yeah. So check out Witching and Bitching on Shudder, I'd say.
Yeah. Las Brujas de Zugarramurdi.
Yeah.
Because Witching and Bitching is a fucking god-awful title.
Oh, dear. So, I guess that's us for Spain, right?
Yeah. I saw 4 men walking down the streets with shotguns, all just firing them continuously into the air. So it's probably time for us to head
I'm
out.
surprised I didn't notice that at all.
No, I think you're asleep.
So we're heading to Italy next, which has a lot going on in terms of horror. We could probably fill an entire season of just Italian movies, but we're not. Don't worry. I'm talking to Ali there, not the listeners.
Yeah, no, I was worried. I was definitely worried.
Don't worry.
We're moving to Italy, Ali.
So first of all, we're going to watch Don't Torture a Duckling by Lucio Fulci. Do not
That's
worry.
good advice.
No real or even artificial ducklings were harmed in the making of that film, or so I'm led to believe. I don't think
So
it's...
you're led to believe.
There's no duckling in it, right? I think there's a Donald Duck toy. There's no actual duckling, because that title sounds worrying. Worry less is what I'd say.
Oh, one last thing I do want to say about The Day of the Beast was when he looks in the toy shop window.
There's guns and toys.
No, the baby from Dinosaurs.
Oh, yeah. I was distracted by all the realistic looking guns that were also there.
I mean, I think that's what you were meant to be looking at.
Yeah, I do, yeah. The little baby from Dinosaur. Wait, is that what that's called? Dinosaur?
Dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs, sorry.
Well, I'm not going to lie, torturing ducklings does make me worried, but at least Italy's colder than Spain, right?
We'll see when we get there, I guess.
What? Donald? Donald? But it's so warm.
Bye. Will we take a break while you pull your old eye out? What are you doing?
I just keep this in.
He's having contact problems, I guess. Oh,
it's horrible. I don't know what it is, to be honest. It might have already fallen out.
No.
I don't think it has. It's under my eyelid. I rub my eye.
I'm so lucky to be witnessing this.
My eyes are watering like mad.
You're sticking your grubby fingers in them. Of course they are.
I'm not. I'm actually using my eyelashes, pulling them to move the eyelid off of the eye.
We'll continue this recording from hospital. It's not looking good. I'm going to be honest. It's not looking great.
It happens, trust me.
It's going very red.
It does that. It's easier when I've got a mirror.
Go for it. Go get a mirror. Oh, well, you can change your screen to see yourself.
I'll use this as my mirror. My eyes are very red.
Yeah, you're fucking them up. Oh, God, he's pulling the eyelid back.
Oh, there it is.
It fell out. Folks. He's all right. Are you going to put it straight back in?
Yeah, it's going straight back in, mate.
Nice.
Don't have time for this. Got a podcast to record.
I never did it from the... I never did it that way. I usually just put it in the front of the eye. Not that horrible weird. Put it in the side, then look creepily to the left to put it into the middle. That's horrible. Ugh. Where the fuck were we? Yes.